Hi guys, welcome to 2020. I'm feeling refreshed and ready to go. I've had a really good rest over Christmas, way longer than I kind of thought, but I was just burnt out to a freaking crisp, guys. Really was. And I want to just take this opportunity to thank my amazing subscribers and donators. My subscriber count has still gone up, and I only lost about 15 patrons, the donators, over the whole of the Christmas period, and that's not bad considering I only put out 2 videos simply because I just wanted a freaking rest. So a huge thank you to those who stuck by me. I really do appreciate it. Now let's get on with what we're looking forward to in 2020. I've got 20 games for you here, guys, that have kind of caught my eye that I'm quite looking forward to doing. I'll be reviewing all of these games and many more over the coming 12 months. So let's start with Doom Eternal. I'm getting deja vu because this was in my 2019 list that I did around about this same time last year. But as you know, it got put back to March. So not much more to say on this game. It's Doom. I'm looking forward to it. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlords. Deja vu again. This was also on my 2019 list. It does exist. I've seen pictures, guys. It does actually exist, this game, and it is definitely my most anticipated game of 2020. Again, I've said loads on this. There's not much more to say, so we'll just move on. Here's a one for you guys. Empire of Sin. This is by John Romero's company. John Romero, the guy behind Doom and Quake with ID Software. One of the guys, should I say, not the guy behind. This is a strategy game set in the days of the Mafia, and it looks rather interesting, guys. The graphics look really good. It's a strategy game with the Mafia. Never been done before to my knowledge. It looks pretty decent. We'll see how that one pans out. This next one might surprise you. Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm looking forward to this, guys. It has full VR support apparently. But get this, it also has live weather. So you can actually go to where you live and fly over your own house and see the exact way the weather is. So if you don't like flight sims, you can use this as up-to-date weather forecasting. Next up, guys, is a reboot. It's System Shock. System Shock is getting a reboot. It was a great game when it first came out. That's why you were fighting against the AI and mutants and things like that. It was a really cool game for its day. How it will stack up today, nobody knows, but it was a good game back then, so I don't see any reason why it won't be a good game now in 2020. It's getting the full reboot, guys, and it comes out this year, and I'll be reviewing it here. Watchdog Legions, guys. Now, I'm looking forward to this purely to see how fucking awful this game is. Serious. I don't hold out much hope for this after more and more info's been released. I predict this is going to be an absolute woke fest of a shill, fucking politically correct pile of shite game. But I could be wrong, and I absolutely hope that I'm wrong. And I hope we get a really immersive open world game, because we need really immersive open world games. I just doubt it. In fact, guys, in advance of this game's release, I'm already going to give it the old. Dying Light 2 is coming this year as well. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of Dying Light 1. It was a buggy mess when it first came out. But Dying Light 2, well, it looks rather. It's 4 times bigger apparently than Dying Light 1, with some cool new features. So I am quite optimistic that this one might be the zombies we're looking for. So that's Dying Light 2 coming out later on this year. Next up, guys, we have many people's already predicted Game of the Year, Cyberpunk 2077. Again, this was in my last year's video, but that got put back too. I've said quite a bit about this game. I'm very looking forward to it. It looks like a really kick-ass RPG. A couple of things I'm a bit concerned about is the ricocheting bullets and stuff like that, but hey, there's no doubt about it. These developers are good. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it will be Game of the Year and a fantastic RPG. Another remake, guys, Resident Evil 3. Now, I'm not a huge player of the Resident Evil stuff. I didn't have an early days console, so I missed out on a lot of the titles. I really enjoyed Resident Evil 2 Remake. In fact, it got onto my Games of the Year video. This is Resident Evil 3. I've never played Resident Evil 3 on any platform. Have no idea if it's good, bad, or what. But I know one thing, guys, I'm really looking forward to it because I thoroughly enjoyed Resident Evil 2 Remake. So bring it on, and let's make more of these good old games, because, you know, a lot of the modern modern games suck donkey ass. So hey, why not bring back the good old games, redo them with AAA graphics, new sound, better gameplay. Yeah, I'll have some of that, guys. Next up, guys, we have Marvel's Avengers. And that's in this list for the same reason as Watchdog Legion. I think it's going to be an absolute big pile of donkey sniffing arse. What is that even? I just don't think it's going to be good, guys. I have a feeling it's going to be another politically correct, rolling around the floor like a piece of shit, marketed at 6-year-old game. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I absolutely love the Avengers. Not the modern movies, they've just been awful, but I'm talking about the original comic books which I collected as a kid. Absolutely huge Marvel fan. So let's have a good Marvel game. Yeah, right. Last of Us Part 2. I wasn't a huge fan of The Last of Us Part 1, to be honest with you. But we'll see what brings with Last of Us Part 2. The first one just never really got me. It just didn't drag me in like I wanted it to. I just never really got it. I didn't like some of the combat. It was clunky. It just didn't work. The story was good, the characters was good, but I just couldn't really get into the combat of The Last of Us. It was very hand-holdy, very kind of unimmersive, and for that reason I just wasn't really into it. Next up is Disintegration. This is a single-player game. You are on this, what looks like a, it looks like you're in a spaceship, but they're like hover bikes. It's first-person shooter, if you like, on the hover bikes. But it is also an RTS game, a real-time strategy game. You control, I think it's 3 land units as well that have different abilities as you go through the actual campaign. It also has multiplayer. This isn't co-op though. This is single-player with online PvP. Kinda, I don't know. It doesn't look that enthralling, to be honest with you, but we'll see how it pans out when it's released. Also, Outriders, guys. It's a third-person co-op shooter with some rather nasty-looking monsters. This looks decent. It's a drop-in, drop-out co-op shooter, third-person, like I've just said. I like these kind of games. We had some good ones in 2019, so hopefully this one will be as good as them, and we can get some new ones for 2020. Another game to keep an eye on is Godfall. It's a looter slasher co-op game. It's like a melee slasher game, but it has co-op, and it is looking at. There's not much real gameplay footage of it, but I don't know whether it's going to be Souls-like or what. But it's one to keep an eye on. It looks pretty gorgeous, actually. I don't know how the combat's going to play. We'll have to wait and see. But it's something that caught my eye because it looks nice, it's co-op, and it's melee. Crusader Kings 3 is coming this year. Now, I've never played any of the Crusader Kings games, and I know the comments are going to be awash with people. You got to, it's awesome. I've heard that they're absolutely awesome, so maybe I'll try and do Crusader Kings 2 just before Crusader Kings 3 comes out, so that I can not only do a direct comparison, but I'll be able to know what I'm doing when I start playing Crusader Kings 3. While we're on the strategy, let's have a look at Total War Troy. This is the Total War Saga, a new one for this year. I loved last year's Total War. This year we're going to the Trojan War in the Bronze Age, between Troy and, wasn't it Greece? So yeah, I think it was. This is the one where they all got in the Hossie and snuck into the base, and then they all jumped out its arse in the middle of the night and killed everybody. So I don't know what you'll be doing in this, how the game will work like that, but it's Total War. They have rekindled my faith in the franchise after last year's awesome game, so I'm really looking forward to this. We also have Skull and Bones, guys. Yes, I think this comes up every freaking year, Skull and... When's it coming out? It's becoming a bit like Bannerlords. Skull and Bones, this is from Ubisoft. This is the kind of Pirate High Seas game that looks really good, but there's been like no info on it for ages, so it's due out this year. We'll have to see. Also from Ubisoft this year we have The Settlers. Now, I'm a huge Settlers fan. This was due out last year, I think, but it's been put back. But The Settlers does come out this year. If you're a fan of the old Blue Byte games, then I'm sure you'll be picking this one up. I'll definitely be reviewing this. It looks really, rather really. Predator Hunting Grounds. It's a PS4 exclusive, which means you have to play with one of them horrible things called a controller. So I don't know how I'm going to enjoy this, but I would love to see this on the PC because the actual game sounds good. For people who are Marines, they've got set quests to do, and the other player is the Predator trying to knock them all off. Looks good, sounds good. we'll wait and see. And finally guys, the last game on the list is Warcraft 3 Reforged from Blizzard. This is a total redo of Warcraft 3 that came out a long time ago. I can't even remember when Warcraft 3 was launched, but it was a really good RTS, probably the best out of the three that was actually released. It had tons and tons of player created add-on maps. Especially big was the tower defense maps, so I hope it's as open as it was back in the day, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to. I think besides all the games that's coming out in 2020, and there does look to be some really good ones, the thing that I'm more looking forward to than anything are the game announcements. These are the games that we've never even heard anything about yet. E3, things like that, that they'll probably not be coming out this year, but we get to hear the announcements. And I'm really hoping that we get a really good first-person shooter, something like Prey, something like Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 1, because that is something that we really don't get much of in gaming anymore. It's all third person rolling around the floor like a prick kind of games, and I would like to see some really good thought out first person shooters with really deep gameplay, like I say, like Prey, like Half-Life. I don't know who's going to make them. I would love to see Half-Life 3 come. I'd love to see a new Left 4 Dead as well. There's lots of stuff that I would like to see, but we'll wait and see what happens at E3 with the gaming announcements. But we're going to get back on with the reviews now. They'll be starting in the next few days.